what it is? Someone close the window!
Hello, I'm a retired general. Welcome to my channel. I'm here because what you see on the news tells you what is happening. I'm going to tell you what it means, as someone who has read intelligence assessments and been inside decision-making rooms. One more thing before we begin. This channel uses its revenue to fund student scholarships. If you subscribe, like, and comment, you are directly supporting that mission. Please hit subscribe now and turn on notifications. Now let's get into it.
March 26, 2026, 2:17 in the morning. 5 countries. Air raid sirens going off simultaneously. Not in sequence, simultaneously. 90 seconds later, 33 American military installations had been hit. That is what happened last night. And there is one detail in this attack that every major outlet is either missing or deliberately ignoring. Stay with me to the end, because that detail changes the entire picture. Before the attack, here is what the buildup looked like. At Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, the largest American airbase in the Middle East, 3,000 paratroopers of the 82nd Airborne Division were already in a holding posture on standby. Their assigned mission, a potential assault on Kharg Island, Iran's main oil export terminal in the Persian Gulf. HIMARS rocket launcher vehicles had taken up firing positions along the coastline where they could strike targets across the water. V-22 Ospreys were fueled and loaded on the flight line, ready to carry paratroopers directly onto the island on command. F-15s, F-16s, and F-35s cycled through the refueling pads between sorties, landing, connecting to the fuel hose, disconnecting, taxiing back to the runway. The cycle ran around the clock. Marine helicopters flew a constant shuttle from carriers offshore to the base camp, bringing in more troops with their weapons and combat loads. The second wave of heavy equipment was still arriving by C-17, M1 Abrams tanks, 70 tons each, driven up the ramps one at a time, HIMARS vehicles, armored personnel carriers, fuel tankers, every vehicle chained to the cargo deck with multiple steel tie-downs, front, rear, both sides, the loadmasters checking every chain by hand before the ramp closed. The assault plan was ready. The troops were briefed. The aircraft were fueled. They were waiting for one order. Iran did not wait. At 2:17 a.m. on March 26th, the IRGC launched Operation Martyr Soleimani. The name was a message. Qasem Soleimani, killed by an American drone strike in January 20. Iran is not hiding its motivation. This was revenge, and it was executed with operational sophistication that shocked Western intelligence agencies. 3 weapon systems. First, the Khaybar-Shikan medium-range ballistic missile, solid fuel. Maneuverable re-entry vehicle designed to defeat layered air defense systems like Arrow and David Sling. Each missile costs Iran approximately $300,000 to produce. Each interceptor Israel fires costs between $1 million and $3 million. Keep that ratio in mind. Second, the Fatah-2 hypersonic missile. First revealed in 2023. Terminal phase speed Mach 15, 15 times the speed of sound. Western defense systems are designed to track threats moving at Mach 3 to Mach 5. At Mach 15, interception becomes a mathematical improbability. You are not shooting at a missile. You are shooting at something moving faster than your targeting system can calculate a solution. Third, Shahed drones. $20,000 each. If Iran forces Israel to fire a $50,000 Iron Dome interceptor to shoot down a $20,000 drone, Iran wins the economic exchange every time the drone is launched. Last night, Iran deployed between 400 and 600 drones, alongside 300 to 400 ballistic missiles. 700 to 1,000 aerial threats arriving across 5 countries in 90 seconds. Now here is the detail nobody is saying clearly. Of the 33 targets struck, the Pentagon confirmed in a closed-door congressional briefing that 6 were classified installations, facilities that did not appear on public maps, signal intelligence sites, cyber warfare nodes, special operations staging areas, facilities that U.S. Central Command had designated as strategically invisible. Iran was not supposed to know they existed. Iran knew where they were. Iran knew what they did. Iran hit them with precision-guided munitions. That is not targeting intelligence gathered in the last few weeks. That is a penetration of American operational security at a level the administration does not want to discuss publicly. Every American installation in the Middle East must now operate under the assumption that its location, purpose, and personnel are known. Here is the economic math that makes this sustainable for Iran and unsustainable for the United States. Iran's entire barrage last night cost approximately $100 to $150 million to manufacture. To defend against it, Israel and American forces fired an estimated 500 interceptors over 40 minutes. Average cost per interceptor, $1 million. That is $500 million in defensive expenditure against a $150 million attack. Iran forced its adversaries to spend more than 3 times what it spent. The United States produces approximately 500 to 600 interceptor missiles per year. Iran produces an estimated 1,200 to 1,500 ballistic missiles per year. Israel's interceptor stockpiles are now at critical lows. This is the asymmetric attrition strategy. You do not need to win militarily. You need to deplete. And now the alliance picture. Kuwait has quietly informed the Pentagon it wants a timeline for reducing the American military footprint. The UAE has suspended joint military exercises. Saudi Arabia has opened back-channel contact with Iran, the same country it severed diplomatic relations with in 20. Gulf monarchies are asking one question: is hosting American forces worth the risk of having our infrastructure destroyed? Iran's supreme leader Mojtaba Khamenei appeared live on television hours after the strikes. Not pre-recorded. Live. His first live broadcast since taking power. He stood at a podium and said, "The era of American untouchability in our region has ended. Every base that hosts American forces is within our reach." The man who had been invisible for weeks chose this moment to reappear. He wanted the world to see him standing. Subscribe. Notifications on. Tell me in the comments what 6 classified U.S. facilities struck last night. Do you think Iran has an intelligence source inside American military planning? And does this change how you see the outcome of this war? I read every answer.
محمد